It has been an incredibly busy couple of weeks for Xbox, and we've seen quite a few games getting announced alongside some huge updates. Today, I'll be covering 14 brand new games, and make sure to keep an eye out for the Xbox Game Pass icon so you know which ones are coming to the service. With that, my name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation, and without further ado, let's dive into these huge Xbox game announcements and updates coming our way. First up, we got a very big announcement over the past week that Rainbow Six Siege X will be launching on the 10th of June and is coming as a day one addition to Xbox Game Pass for any Ultimate or PC members. I will have to reiterate that this is going free to play, but Game Pass owners get the premium version with a ton of extra content, and you also get it as a free upgrade if you own the game already. This new update though is allowing new players to experience the tactical action of Siege for free in a ranked, quick match and the all new 6 vs 6 dual front mode. The game is including a lot of modernized maps, destructible ingredients, improved rappel navigation, and more as a part of a wide-ranging suite of upgrades, improvements, and refinements. No doubt we will get some huge perks alongside this premium edition for our Xbox Game Pass subscription, so stay tuned for more info and I'll update you as soon as this drops. One indie game that I'm actually quite intrigued in upon finding out more about it over on Twitter was for Rescue Ops Wildfire. This one is actually coming to Xbox later on in 2025 and is currently a console launch exclusive, with it only being available via Xbox Game Preview and Early Access over on Steam. The game is being promoted as a proper firefighter simulator, as they'll add realistic and unpredictable wildfire mechanics alongside a fleet of vehicles for us to operate in order to get the job done as we battle various fires in different scenarios. We will have to lead our team in the game's two primary modes here as well, from campaign and sandbox mode. The mission-based campaign is playable either solo or in a squad of up to 2 to 4 players in online co-op, and essentially puts you in the shoes of firefighters facing a fire like no other. It looks to deliver exhilarating wildfire scenarios across a host of expansive locations worldwide. The game's additional mode, known as sandbox mode, will encourage us to use what we've learned to plan our strategy and then tackle bigger, more volatile wildfires and unscripted events that challenge you and your team to think fast and act faster. GSC Game World has just released their Stalker Legends of the Zone Trilogy Enhanced Edition, which is a massive graphical overhaul for the studio's beloved open world survival games. Available as an update to the trilogy on console and a free upgrade for all Xbox players who already purchased the trilogy since last year, this new version of the trilogy gives Shadow of Chernobyl, Clear Sky, and Call of Pripyat a huge refresh. It includes the likes of enhanced graphics, next-gen console optimizations, and broader modding support. Don't get the impression though that this is going to be a remaster but the likes of the Oblivion Remastered, but instead is a lovely little overhaul to the game and makes it look less dated and brings some lovely quality of life improvements for all of us console users. Are you going to be diving into this new enhancement? You'll have to let me know down below. Now, Microids has just confirmed it is bringing back the original point-and-click classic adventure game called Syberia in a complete Xbox remaster, and it will be releasing at the end of this year. It will be going by Syberia Remastered, but judging by the quality of what I'm showing you on screen now, this looks more like a full-on remake than anything else, and similar in vein to the Oblivion Remastered. In a press release by Gamatsu, it's revealed that the remaster will include a stunning visual overhaul, redesigned gameplay, and the same captivating storytelling that made it a classic. If you somehow haven't heard of this 2002 classic, I'll give you a very brief narrative setup. You basically take control of Kate Walker, a brilliant lawyer from New York, and is sent to a remote village in the French Alps to finalize the sale of an old automaton factory. But what begins as a routine assignment soon turns into an extraordinary journey across Eastern Europe and its snow-covered landscapes. Will you be interested in returning to the first game on both the Xbox Series X and S consoles later this year? If you're like me and can't wait for Lost in Random The Eternal Die, then I have some very good news to share with you today. The game now has an official release date of the 17th of June, and yes, this one is coming day one to Xbox Game Pass for both Ultimate and PC members. If you're unfamiliar, this is the successor to the 2021 action-adventure title and sees us take on the role of the previous game's antagonist, Queen Alexandra. The game takes a roguelike spin on the Lost in Random world, which is definitely a shift away from the original game, but one that's garnered quite a lot of praise in early previews. There is actually a demo that's now available on the Xbox Store if you're interested in trying this one out prior to the release date. And if you can't wait to get your hands on this one, then there is an upgrade path to the Fortune Edition, which will also give you early access to the full game on the 13th of June. 32 years ago, we saw a little game called Ridge Racer making a huge splash, firstly in arcades, but then very notably on the original PlayStation as a launch title a year later back in 1994. It's certainly a little bit dated and lacking the features by today's standards, but it's undoubtedly an important part of gaming history, and we're finally about to get it on Xbox consoles. The publisher, Hamster Corporation, has announced that Arcade Archives 2 Ridge Racer will not only be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 and PlayStation consoles, but also both the Xbox Series X and S consoles later this year. The release date for Aka 2 Ridge Racer on Xbox has now been confirmed as the 5th of June, so there's not too long to wait at all. There are also some brand new features in this release of Ridge Racer for Xbox as well. In addition to the original mode, high score mode and caravan mode that have been included in other ACA titles, there's also going to be a time attack mode where you can try and speedrun the game as quickly as possible. There's also some modern day enhancements like quick saves as well, so it's definitely worth diving into if you've never experienced this classic. I was honestly so hyped when I found out that Forgive Me Father 2 is coming to Xbox consoles this autumn. The game is a frenetic first-person shooter with a very cartoonish art style. Only imagine a really gruesome cartoon filled with blood and teeth and tentacles, and you're about there really. It's a Lovecraft-inspired thing, hence the squid-headed enemies that lurk around the place, and it has a bit of a hellish energy of doom about it as well. At a playable level though, we are faced with a title that offers intense fighter against many enemies, with each being more grotesque and deadly. Fortunately, we will have a large and varied arsenal at our disposal, and this allows us to adapt to every single situation. The first game was so highly praised, and since the second game launched over on Steam, it has seen very positive reviews across the board, with many stating it's a vast improvement over the original entry in nearly every single aspect. I totally adored the unique aesthetic of this one, and I can't wait to get my hands on what looks like an excellent boomer shooter later this year. So, a game that actually got revealed a long time ago was called Chrono Odyssey, and this game actually came close to blowing my mind back when it was first revealed in 2023, but now it has finally returned to the big screen. To be fair though, the title did actually reappear last year with a shorter trailer that just screamed the game still exists, we promise, but we've seen next to nothing of this project ever since. The new video that we got a couple of days ago is actually shorter than the last, but it coincides with the announcement of a closed beta test which is set for this June. Unfortunately, the playtest is only going to be available on PC at the moment, but it at least proves that Chrono Odyssey isn't just some kind of overly ambitious fever dream that never escaped their development hell. This first public playtest milestone actually marks the next step towards the game's full launch over on the Xbox Series X and S consoles, promising a groundbreaking MMORPG experience powered by cutting-edge technology. It'll be worth looking out for the gameplay footage once this beta drops, as we'll finally get to see the title in action for the very first time. The game is actually promising some in-depth combat that uses time-based mechanics spread across a huge open world setting. I would be keen to hear if you've ever forgotten about Chrono Odyssey, or do you still have some high hopes for this one? Don't think about rewinding time in the comments below, as I'll be keen to hear your thoughts. Since Stray actually announced itself on the world stage a couple of years ago, cat games have become all the rage. A new alternative from developer Spoonful of Wonder certainly doesn't shy away from that fact, with its aptly named adventure called Copycat. Copycat seems to be a poignant narrative-driven game about rejection, belonging, and the meaning of home, all of which Stray also had shades of. This new attempt though looks to capture cat lovers around the world and follows the story of a newly adopted shelter cat whose space in the home has been taken by a copycat, and it does remind players to bring the tissues as they play through this one. Copycat has actually been out on PC since late last year and has done very well for itself in that time since. Over on Steam, the title has actually amassed over 2,000 reviews at a very positive rating, and the game is now inbound for consoles this year. Copycat finally makes its feline debut for the Xbox Series X and S consoles on the 29th of May, and for a low cost of just $15. Disorder Save Your Family is finally coming to Xbox with a surprise release date towards the end of this May, and I know many are excited for this one as it's a very different take on the horror format. To put it in a bit of perspective, it's essentially Hangman meets Hostel. It's very intense, gory, shocking, suspenseful, and an awesome looking horror game. As you can see on screen now, the art style works very well with the theme of the game too, and makes it really stand out from the crowd. The gameplay looks to build real tension here though, especially during timed rounds where the pressure ramps up and the difficulty is definitely there, but according to a few users over on PC, within a few rounds it becomes more manageable and a satisfying experience when you start improving. It does seem to be a fairly short sort of experience from what I can see from people who have played it over on Steam, but for the low price of just under $5, it does seem well worth it, especially if you like games like Buckshot Roulette. As of today, we got the announcement that The Wandering Village is finally leaving its early access state and will be going into full launch onto Xbox this July. If you're unfamiliar with this game, it is essentially a city builder, but with a very unique take, as not only are you trying to build a settlement and keep your inhabitants happy, but you're also living on top of a massive creature's back. It's also got a very gorgeous Studio Ghibli-like visual style and lovely if repetitive music. I have played this one while it's been in its early game preview state over on Xbox, and I have to say the overall effect is very calming and meditative and evoking a real sense of wonder. You're really trying to help a ragtag band of survivors build a happy little village at the end of the world. It's also less cruel than other games in the same genre such as Frostpunk, so if you want to get into the city building space with a more relaxed and unique approach, then definitely check out The Wandering Village when it lands into a full release on the 17th of July. Cloudheim is a very interesting co-op action RPG that's all about being creative with its physics-driven combat. Upon doing a bit of digging for this video, I found that this game is playable solo or with up to 3 friends, which is very nice to see. At a recent showcase, we actually got a bit more detail and explanation about the fighting and the classes you can use to mix and match abilities in battle. This game really does give me the Legend of Zelda vibes, and to be honest, I'm all for it, especially as we don't have many games like this on Xbox currently. The combat here looks insane, with a real emphasis on physics-driven mechanics. You'll also be able to explore the game's world while riding on the back of a giant flying turtle, and you'll also craft a range of weaponry and equipment as you progress throughout the game. It does sound totally bonkers, it looks great, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this one when it launches later this year. Keeping in the realm of strategy style games though, we also have the announcement yesterday that Zombie Cure Lab, a base building management game centered around, as you guessed it, zombies, is coming to the Xbox Series consoles on the 27th of May. In Zombie Cure Lab, the undead have essentially overrun the planet, and after years of desperate research, humanity has discovered an antidote that partially reverses zombification. As the leader of this remote scientific outpost, you'll have to build a fully functional lab in the wilderness, assigning different workers to gather resources, also set up defenses, and construct machines that can capture and heal zombies. Obviously, along the way, and as you come to expect, you will have to develop new technologies, expand your own research tree, electrify your laboratory, and try to create a healthy working environment for your own team. It looks pretty fun from what we've seen so far, and a good grab this May, especially if you love games like 2 Point Museum and others within this space. In case you missed it, and if you've been enjoying the magical living lands, I have some great news. Avowed's roadmap for 2025 has revealed that a new Game Plus mode, a photo mode, and more is on the way. All players though can now download the update 1.4, and this one is rolling out to Xbox Series X and S and PC players right now, with some of the more notable features including the long-awaited Arachnophobia mode and killable critters that may contain loot. Additionally, it'll now be easier to clear the fog of war from your map, and a new setting will let you reveal chests on the minimap whenever you're near them, and you'll also be able to wait at your camp to advance time. The next big update though after this will drop this summer, packing new cooking and crafting improvements, new weapons and armor, custom map markers, fresh abilities, and new NPC abilities and behavior. After that though, another huge update will also arrive sometime this fall, bringing New Game Plus, which I know is requested by many out there, alongside a photo mode, a whole new weapon type, additional godlike feature presets, new character presets, and changing appearance in the world. While it's not DLC, at least we know there's plenty of chunky updates heading to this autumn Game Pass game this year. So, what game announcement or update are you excited for? Let me know down below. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more Xbox news, reviews, Game Pass updates, and more every single day. Whilst here though, why don't you check out the video on screen now, as I covered the huge sale going on currently and which games you need to pick up on the Xbox store right now.